Got your phone?
Yeah.
Did you see Christopher's response to your video?
No.
It was good.
On YouTube?
No, just as a red square. There's only one. You know how we were putting all the... You were putting all the ideas for the future chapters in there?
Yeah.
At the end of our video? Well, this is in response to that. Read it out.
Are you going to mention that you will be severely tested till the death of yourself in your quarry publicly, because you have behaved your arrogance publicly? This is agony.
Yeah. Once more, slower.
Are you going to mention that you will be severely tested till the death of yourself in your quarry publicly, because you have behaved your arrogance publicly? This is agony.
This is agony. We touched on it yesterday, but we didn't really go into the agony of the vein, going through the vein, the death of self. Yeah? Why do you think we have to have the death of self?
To be pure.
To be pure?
So you don't listen to demon thoughts. So.
The death of self means that you're giving up everything that you think you are, that you've created, and everything that Yahusha hates. So that's what death of self is. That's why people say it's agony, because I am this and I am that.
Yeah.
That's how we think.
And how does heaven feel looking at us behaving who we think we are?
Yahusha hates it.
Yahusha hates Micah Davidson. Yahusha hates Josiah Davidson. Yahusha hates Mark Davidson. Yahusha hates all of us individually. Sorry, Brandon Davidson. You going to mention? Anybody else want to mention? Yahusha hates all of us who we are. He wants the blood-bought slaves that he's purchased. You all like to throw around the N-word. Do you know what a slave actually is? What's a slave?
Someone you own.
Someone you own.
To use.
To use. However you want. Because you bought him, you can treat him however you want. Did he buy us?
Yes.
With his blood?
Yeah.
So we become a love slave. Yeah? Which means we don't have any rights. We don't have the right to go and do and say and be anything we want to do. Because doesn't Scripture say that? You do not own yourself. You don't have the right to look sideways if he wants you to look forward. He's that specific. What do you think the most important part of that square was? 2 words. Keeping in mind that we are to die to ourselves, and this is the real agony. You saw me yesterday in your video. I was trying not to cry, like just thinking about the vein and what it entails and what I'm going through. That shows that I'm not dead yet. You know? The pain. Sorry. What do you think the point is there? 2 most important words. It's in inverted commas.
Tested.
Severe testing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Severe testing. To prove whether we're dead. To prove whether we'll show that we love him. to prove whether we'll rise up when the instruction comes to prove if we see any anger or manifesting. Is that flesh or spirit?
Flesh.
Does that look like we're dead yet?
No.
A dead person has no opinions. When Mark Davidson is dead, flat, lying on the ground, pushing up daisies, he can't be tempted by demons. He's dead. Demons don't bother with him because he's dead. Is this starting to make sense? Flesh has to die. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go jump off a bridge. It's not a physical thing. It is me, myself, in my flesh has to die. Just like all of us. So we can actually be used. You know? Does this make sense?
Yeah.
So therefore, I woke up this morning and I was feeling a bit heavy, thinking about, and I was getting pestered, because I'm not dead. Getting pestered. You shouldn't have focused everything on yourself last night, and you shouldn't have told them what you told them, and you shouldn't have this, and you shouldn't have that, and you shouldn't, running me down. And then I had clients all morning, and I was saying to Yahusha, is this your voice, or am I being pestered? Do you think the video was not successful? Do you think I should have refined it, or do you think there was something wrong with, or am I being pestered? And I didn't know this because I was on the floor doing hair all morning, but what got written?
That?
Which I didn't see until after. So he's showing me that he has me in his hand. He has you. He never leaves us unattended. You know? He always lets us know what he wants. And so in regards to our video yesterday, it's just some refining. We didn't really go into the reality of the vein, what it really means to die. Because we've had such a image portrayed to us out there of what following a Messiah should look like. And it's all parties, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all jumping up and down and parties and happiness and families. Can you sit still? Because Mum's a bit uncomfortable. Just sit still, buddy. Or you can sit in your chair if you want. You choose. So this is the real following Yahusha. Yahusha says, pick up your torture stake and follow me. What's the key word there?
Follow me.
Yeah, follow me, but torture. Wasn't he in torture on that stake? Why would it be any different for us? Is this ringing true?
Yeah.
You felt agony going through this? Changing? Looking at yourself? The more you start making videos, the more you'll look at yourself. That's why we have a mandate, not only to reach other people, but so that it's for our growth as well. So you look at yourself and you edit yourself, not computer edit, but you edit the way your mannerisms and the way you speak. You watch yourself and you go, oh, you don't like that, you know. So we're being refined. It's not fun, it's torture, it's agony. We're dying to ourselves. And the only place where you get joy is when you're dead and then something new rises up. A love slave who has no rights, who wakes up every morning knowing, I'm ready to serve, you know. There's joy in that. He promises never to leave us or forsake us. And you saw just in that example today, he looks after me, he looks after you. If you ask, he wants that one-on-one relationship with you, with me. Yeah? Getting tired, mister?
No.
Your eyes are getting heavy. Does everyone understand that?
Yeah.
So it's actually really encouraging, isn't it? So, what do you think of that? Did you know you were a love slave? No, it's pretty obvious. Did you?
I mean, yeah, we talked about it.
Did you know that you're a slave?
We
Yeah.
talked about it a couple of weeks ago on a video.
Yeah, but does it look like this quarry realises they're slaves?
No.
No. Dead to ourselves. Slaves. You orchestrate and organise your whole life and do the things that, yeah, we need to sleep. It's boring, but we have to sleep. Yeah, we've got to go to work. That's a pain in the, yeah, but we got to do it. So you organise all the things that you have to do in this fleshly life. You organise it in such a way so that when you're ready to serve Yahusha the rest of the time, you know? Because obviously we'd all love to not have to sleep and not have to work and just serve him and do things and, you know, all that. But we have to do those things. We have to eat and we have to... So you orchestrate everything and get everything in order, organised, so that if someone runs into you and wants to talk to you, or if we need to serve each other, or any way we need to serve Yahusha, we're ready. Yeah? Anytime you went over Christopher and Victoria's house, were they somewhere else?
No.
Were they not in the room? You know? Their house is set up, ready, and that you're the most important person there, aren't you? They have nothing else to do but serve and love and attend to you, to me. That's what slaves do. They serve people. They attend to the needs of others, not
Themselves.
If you have needs, which Yahusha provides, you get your needs organised, you know, so they're done quickly out of the way. You know, all the things you need to do in life to maintain yourself and sleep and shower and groom and all the things you need to do, eat. You know, you work it all out. So you're ready to serve him in whatever way you can. Yeah. So that's what I'm feeling. We didn't realise we were slaves. Do you now? A house full of slaves. It doesn't mean the slaves can't help each other. I'm just saying the slaves are serving Yahusha, and they check everything with him. Yeah? Because they don't have any rights to go here or go there or do this or do that, or everything belongs to him. Does that make sense? Well, that's what I want to share with you before we go into Matthew chapter 2, which is very interesting. It's all about the star tonight, this star that they followed to where Yahusha was born. What did it really mean? Was it pagan astrology? Astrology just means looking at the stars. If you're not astronomy, astronomy is looking at the stars and the sky in a scientific way. Astrology is looking at it in a spooky way where you think it's going to talk to you, and it's, you know, the horoscopes and things. You think that the stars and the constellations are somehow influencing your life. That's astrology. So was this star that they were following pagan astrology, or was it a supernatural sign? Did it? Well, yeah, but did it look like? That's the picture there, but did it look like that? We're going to find out. Was there a big bright star that everybody could see there? That's the question. Bethlehem of Judea was also the birthplace, because this is where, as we know from last chapter, Yahusha was born in the manger. Bethlehem of Judea was also the birthplace of King David. So the direct familial connection between the Messiah and King David is a must in the messianic prophecies, as demonstrated by Matthew's genealogy of Yahusha in our last chapter, as well as the two figures born many centuries apart, sharing a common birthplace. What do you think of the fact that Yahusha was born right smack bang where King David was born? right in the royal city, royal place. Isn't that phenomenal? Showing us who he really is. Who would like to read 𝗙𝗧𝗟𝗓 tonight?
I'll do it.
Yeah? King James? Yeah? BYNV?
I'll do it.
You want to do that one? All right. How about, if you don't mind, why don't you read the BYNV and you read the 𝗙𝗧𝗟 because it's on your side of the screen. It's easier to see. Or are your eyes better than mine? Can you see it all right? You don't mind?
Yeah.
Well, Brandon, you do that one side and you do that side. Yeah? And you're in the middle. Perfect. Go for it, Brandon.
And after Yahusha was born in BETHLEHEM, in a city of Yahudah, in the days
Yahudah.
in the days of Herod the king, and behold, sorcerers came from the east of Jerusalem, saying,
Keep going.
Where is he who was born Melech king over Yahudim? For we have seen his star in the east, and we have come to bow down to him.
And do the next one.
And when Herod heard, he became full of anger, he and all Jerusalem with him.
Now remember, we want to be Bereans. We want to pick out things and find where there's errors and see what's hidden in the text, don't we? So, Hunter, you want to read this version?
Now after Yahusha was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he who has been born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and have come to worship him. When Herod the king heard this, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him.
He was troubled. And Joe?
And Yahusha, having been born in BETHLEHEM of Yehudah in the days of Herod the king, see, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem,
Magi,
saying, Where is he who has been born King of the Yehudim? For we saw his star in the east, and have come to do reverence to him. And Herod the king, having heard, was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him.
So basically, because he's the king, he's angry because he's hearing about this, and they're saying he's going to be the king of the Jews, so he's angry about it.
because what's he right now?
King.
Of the Jews.
Yeah.
The thing I found interesting is they come in and they say, where is he? Not, is there a king? Is there one? They're saying, where is he? Where is he? Like they know. They're sure about it. Where is he? And that may not seem like anything to you, but do you know what these sorcerers, to start with, were there ever allowed to be sorcerers?
No.
No.
Wise men.
One calls it sorcerers. The Christians, of course, say wise men. And the correct word is actually magi. But what are these people? Are they Jews?
No.
I'm going to take you through a little bit of a thing about these magi, wise men or sorcerers.
They were Gentiles.
They were Gentiles. Very interesting. Who are these sorcerers, magi, or wise men? You want to read that side, Brandon? And Mikey, you want to read that side?
Many popular ideas about these magi are
Just
based.
slow it down so we can take it in. Once more.
Many popular ideas about these magi are based on tradition rather than scripture. Scripture never states how many magi there were, nor does it describe them as kings.
So there weren't just three wise men standing around the nativity at Christmas time like we get told every year. Not at all. There weren't even three. We're not told how many there were. It doesn't say they were kings either. Go on, mate.
Instead, they were highly educated and respected Hellenistic, Greek-minded astrologers.
That's what Hellenistic means. They're Greek. So they weren't Jews, they were Greek. Astrologers, which are?
Ancient scientists
stargazers, experts in interpreting celestial movements according to the dominant Greco-Roman worldview of the time. They were not Jewish, and they did not practice ancient Babylonian astrology either, which had largely disappeared centuries earlier. Jews generally rejected astrology altogether, making the Magi's methods and conclusions foreign to Judean society altogether. They had been punished and divorced for worshipping the Alahim in this pagan way.
So, we see that they weren't Babylonian, because by this stage, the Greeks, the Hellenists, had taken over this astrology and they'd made it even more cosmic, as we'll see. More closer to what we see today with horoscopes and reading, all the sorcery and necromancy, all that sort of madness. So, go on.
Ancient Babylonians viewed the stars as signs of divine, often mood-changing power. The Hellenists integrated this belief by viewing the cosmos as deterministic, interconnected system where celestial bodies directly influence human fate through the zodiac, and certain mathematical methods converted this observational science into a personalized, predictive art form. Understanding this historical context is crucial. Judea lived under harsh Roman occupation, creating deep tension between Jewish hopes for a Messiah and Roman fears of rebellion. Both Jews and Romans expected a powerful Jewish leader to arise, though for very different reasons. At the same time, advances in astronomical observation had made astrology more sophisticated and credible across the Roman Empire. Astrology and astronomy were not separate disciplines. The careful study of the heavens existed primarily to interpret omens believed to reveal fate and political change.
So you're getting a bit of an idea who these who these magi were. If they were to rock up today, they'd be kind of like scientists / philosophers. Astronomers, stargazers, scientists, that sort of thing. So they're not religious men at all, other than being pagan and in bringing in all this cosmic stuff like mood-changing power and the zodiac and all that stuff. See who we're dealing with here? And they rock up and go, where's the king? The Jews didn't even know there was a king. The Jews, with all their lies. The Jews, with all their, Torah and prophecies, didn't know there was a king. And yet these pagan magi rock up quite confidently and just go, all right, where is he?
Where he at?
Where is he? King Herod don't know what they're talking about. There's whisperings that there's, and undercurrents for centuries that there's going to be a Messiah because of the scriptures. Nobody knew it was here. And now, what's that about? How come the pagans know about it and the Jews, the chosen people, apparently, didn't even know about it? Getting a bit of an idea of how sneaky Alahim is, Yahusha was. So,
Had to be.
I've got one more. You want to read that one, Hunter? Can you read? Can you see that writing, darling? It's a bit small for you.
The left one.
You can read the left one and Therese can read the right one.
Within this framework, the Magi were respected figures of society who believed the gods communicated through the stars.
That's what they believed. Look at the stars long enough and the gods will talk to you.
The Magi's belief system included the zodiac, and within Hellenistic astrology, the constellation Aries was associated with Judea.
Got that? So Judea is where we're looking at here. Judea, this is the part of the world we're looking at. And these wise men, Magi I should say, were staring at the constellations, and in their belief and their mindset, the zodiac and all that madness, Aries was associated with Judea. Go on.
From this perspective, celestial signs connected with Aries could signal major events there. including the death of a king or the birth of a new one. This background shapes how the Star of Bethlehem should be understood. There have been several theories behind this star. Myth, supernatural, miracle, comet, supernova, or planetary conjunction. However, comets were widely regarded as omens of disaster and death.
So it wasn't a comet. As we know, comets just go across the sky, don't they? So it's not a comet. Novas?
Not birth. Novas or supernovas carried no known astrological meaning related to kingship.
So it's not a supernova.
Planetary conjunctions, while rare and calculable, also do not by themselves explain the Magi's certainty.
So it's none of these things. Charlie?
The account in Matthew shows that the Magi arrived in Jerusalem confidently asking where the new king of the Jews had been born, not whether such a king existed. Their certainty unsettled the city and alarmed Herod, a paranoid Roman-aligned ruler who feared both political rivals and messianic expectations. Notably, neither Herod nor the Jewish population had observed anything unusual themselves. This strongly suggests that the sign the Magi saw was not a spectacular or obvious event, but something subtle, recognizable only to trained astrologers.
Does that make sense? If it had been that bright, massive star like on that first picture, wouldn't the whole city be going, what's that? Was anybody doing that? No. Only the trained eye, only someone trained to looking at a certain star that meant something to them could spot it. Go on.
So the Star of Bethlehem must have conveyed a clear, specific message in the mindset of these Magi, that a new king of the Jews had been born in Judea. The fact that the sign went unnoticed by the general population implies it was not a dramatic phenomenon, but a refined celestial indicator, discernible only by learned stargazers, shifting cultural focus.
So this is the culture we're going into, being a bit of a fly on the wall in the walls of King Herod's palace. This is the sort of culture we're going into. And we see these foreigners come in, these magi, these scientific types, stargazers, going suddenly, all right, where's the king? Everyone's like, what? So that's just to set a bit of a stage for what's going on here, guys, yeah? So, who's reading?
And he gathered all chief priests and scribes of the people, and he needed from them in what place Hamashiach will be born.
This is King Herod here. This is what he did.
And they said to him, in Bethlehem of Yahuah,
Just say Judah if you want.
of Judah, for thus it was said by mouth of the prophet.
Go on.
But you, Bethlehem, Ephratah, young to be among the clans of Judah, from you he will come forth to me to be ruler over my people Israel.
Hunter?
And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. So they said to him, in Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet, but you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are not the least among the rulers of Judah. For out of you shall come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel.
So see, there's all sorts of prophecies being fulfilled already, isn't there?
Yep.
And Joe?
And having gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he asked them where the Messiah was to be born. And they said to him, In Bethlehem of Judah, for thus it has been written by the prophet. But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, you are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For out of you shall come a ruler who shall shepherd my people Israel.
Because Bethlehem wasn't a particularly fantastic place. Remember in that David show we watched, they were mocking, they were just the simple people out that way. And yet the prophet's saying, you are not the least in the land of Judah. So just because you probably think you are, but you're not the least in the land of Judah, because out of you shall come a ruler, which meant something. Mikey, bro, it's your prophecy. Wake up, bro. It's you. Look, Mikey said it. Mikey. That's where it was written, in Micah 5. So we see that they knew, Herod's Jewish teachers knew what they were talking about. They knew the prophecies. Why didn't they know about it? Go on, Brandon.
Then Herod called the sorcerers secretly, and questioned them well of the time of the star which had appeared to them.
Keep going.
And he said to them, to Bethlehem, and said, Go and ask well concerning the child, and when you have found him, tell me, so that I may also come to bow down to him.
Then Herod, when he had secretly called the wise men, determined from them what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem, and said, Go and search carefully for the young child, and when you have found him, bring back word to me, that I may come and worship him also.
Do you think that's what he really wanted to do?
No. Well, I don't know, because I already read it. But...
Oh, cheater. Joe?
Then Herod, having called the Magi secretly, learned exactly from them what time the star appeared. And having sent them to Bethlehem, he said, Go and search diligently for the child. And when you have found him, bring back word to me, so that I too might go and do reverence to him.
Makes sense. And
when they heard the king, they went. And behold, the star which they saw in the east went before their eyes, until it came and stood still above, over against where the child was.
Something that you should understand about, which I didn't add, about ancient astronomy. Back then they thought the earth was flat. Back then they thought the sun revolved around the earth. So when they see the sky moving at night, they actually thought it was the sky moving. So it's primitive time. They were very intelligent, but they didn't have a chance to get out of the earth to have a look down. They don't know what they know today, what we know today. So when it says the star moved, it was just, the star wasn't actually physically moving over the place. The star was just moving as the stars normally move. But the star that they saw in the east was moving, because that's what the sky does. It moves, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. The earth moves. Tricked you. So, so it wasn't some spooky thing, because this sign wasn't even for the Jews. We'll see later what the sign for the Jews was. This was the wise men, the Magi. So this was subtle. Because as I said in the beginning, if it was a big, bright, shining light, the whole town, the whole nation would be like, what's going on? But they didn't, did they?
No.
So that's just a little bit of perspective on what the ancient scientists thought about the sky.
When they heard the king, they departed, and behold, the star which they had seen in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was.
Joe?
And having heard the king, they went. And see, the star which they had seen in the east went before them, until it came and stood over where the child was. he was about 2 years old by this time.
Did you know that? He's 2 years old by this stage. Yeah, we know you've read it. He was 2 years old by this stage. Really debunks the whole everybody gathering at the manger idea, doesn't it? The shepherds and the wise men and Mary and Joseph and all together at the... It's not true. These wise men rocked up 2 years later. So it shows the real truth of what's going on here. Let's go on.
And when they saw the star, they rejoiced a very great joy.
Keep going.
And they came to the house, and they found the child and Miriam his mother. And they fell upon the ground, and they bowed down to him. And they opened their treasures, and they offered him gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh.
Yeah, finish it up.
And it came to pass a percentage of them was sleeping. And behold, 𝗪𝗪𝗪 appeared to them, saying, Guard from returning to Jerusalem to Herod. And they went and returned to their own land by another way.
I was going to say, these guys weren't Jewish. They didn't have any messianic prophecies. They would have known them, but they didn't. They weren't bowing down to their Messiah, were they?
No.
They're just paying homage to a king, as you would in any nation. This is the birth of a new king, so they paid homage to him more than
his own people.
Yeah, more than his own people did. They paid homage to him. Just to get the right perspective, they weren't expecting a deliverer. They weren't even, Hebrew or Jewish.
But they ended up getting one.
They ended up getting one, yeah. Hunter?
When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceedingly great joy. And when they had come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary, his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented gifts to him, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Then, being divinely warned in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed for their own country another way.
These magi were warned in a dream. A messenger, an angel appeared to them in a dream. Even the pagans are getting dreams. See how he's moving? See how sneaky he is? He's doing something very different. And we saw in our first chapter last week, he is doing something new, isn't he?
Yeah.
This is a new creation order. Yahusha was the start of it, the catalyst of it. And so he's just doing things very differently. Not that he hadn't worked with Gentiles before. He's always done sneaky things with the Gentiles to bring him in, and they're even in his own lineage, weren't they? So, John?
And seeing the star, they rejoiced with exceedingly great joy. And coming into the house, they saw the child with Miriam, his mother, and fell down and did reverence to him. And opening their treasures, they presented to him gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed for their own country by another way.
What do you think so far in the story, guys? Anything striking you?
They're supposed to be was meant for Gentiles, obviously.
Well, the star. Because they're the only ones who saw it. Why did Alahim want Gentiles coming and worshipping him?
Simple, really.
Because
he came to save everyone.
Yeah. Very good, mate.
Not just the Jews.
Yeah. Very good.
He already knew that the Jews were going to reject him before it even happened. He already knew what was in their hearts. So by showing the Gentiles, or the Greeks in this case, the signs of his coming, it was a way to bring the Gentiles in.
Because they would have gone and told people, wouldn't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
So spreading little breadcrumbs all through.
Yeah.
which would have ricocheted to even 30 years later when he died, and the government tried to cover it up and say, no, he didn't really rise from the dead. They went and scarpered off with his body in the middle of the night. He didn't really rise. Word would have gone out from all these stories here. No, we saw him. We went and bowed down before him and gave him gifts, this being. Where was it? Nazareth. Where was it? Or Bethlehem. Bethlehem here. Where was he? Yeah, that guy. Yeah, we know that guy. Yeah, so they're laying a groundwork with the Gentiles. So, got more? Do the whole thing there.
And since they went, and behold, a Melech Yahuah appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, take the child and his mother, and flee to Mitzrayim,
Egypt,
and be there. And there remain until I return to you, for Herod is seeking to kill the child.
Mm.
And he awoke, and did as Melech said to him, and took up the child and his mother by night, and departed into Mitzrayim. And when he was there until death of Herod, to fulfill what the verse said from Yahuah through the prophet, who said, From Mitzrayim I called my son.
Mm.
Then Herod, seeing that he was fooled of the sorcerers, was considerably furious, and sent and killed all the boys who were in Bethlehem, and in all her boundary, from 2 years and under, as he heard the time from the sorcerers.
Isn't that wicked?
Mm.
Very reminiscent of what Pharaoh did around the time of Moses, isn't it?
Yep.
Let's just kill all of them. We're bound to get them if we kill all of them. So they were in Egypt just to fulfill a prophecy. See how Yahusha's life was just filled with prophecy fulfillment? So that he was legit. So that he would, even the bookworms and the scholars would be convinced. Were they?
Nope.
So it doesn't show the mind condition, it shows their heart condition, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, Hunter?
Now when they had departed, behold, an angel of the Messiah
That would be Alahim.
appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, take the young child and his mother, and flee to Egypt, and stay there until I bring you word, for Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night, and departed for Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the Alahim through the prophet, saying, Out of Egypt I called my son. Then Herod, when he saw that he was deceived by the wise men, was exceedingly angry, and he sent forth and put to death all the male children who were in Bethlehem, and in all its districts, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had determined from the wise men.
Keep going, Joe. This is just history, really, so keep going.
And when they had left, see, a messenger of Yahuah appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, take the child and his mother, and flee to Egypt, and remain there until I bring you word, for Herod is about to seek the child to destroy him. And rising up, he took the child and his mother by night, and departed for Egypt, and remained there until the death of Herod, to fulfill what was spoken by Yahuah through the prophet, saying, Out of Egypt I have called my son. Then Herod, having seen that he was fooled by the Magi, was greatly enraged, and he sent forth and slew all the male children in Bethlehem, and in all its borders, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had exactly learned from the Magi.
Remember when we did Revelation 12 and we talked about how Yahusha was with the woman who, which in one certain context was Mary, was whisked off to the wilderness, and it was around about 3.5 years, which fitted right into the Revelation scenario too.
Mm-hmm.
So this is another future thing that was fulfilled as well. This is the last slide, so go for it.
Then was fulfilled what the verse said by
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah the prophet, upon whom be Shalom the utterance.
So this is referring to all the babies being slain. This fulfilled the prophecy in Jeremiah, which said,
A voice in Ramah is heard, wailing, lamentation, Rachel crying over her children. She refuses to be comforted over her children, because they are no more.
Imagine the sound coming from that part of the world. There's all the slain babies. Imagine the lamentation, the wailing, the mothers crying over their children. Fulfilling a prophecy, isn't it? Devastating.
And after Herod died, behold, a Malach, messenger of Yahuah, appeared in a dream to Joseph in Mitzrayim, saying, Rise and carry the child and his mother, and go to the land of Israel. For died they the seeking after life of the child. And he arose and took the child and his mother, and came to land of Israel.
Then was fulfilled what was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, A voice was heard in Ramah, lamentation, weeping, and great mourning. Rachel weeping for her children, refusing to be comforted, because they are no more. Now when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Alahim appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, Arise, take the young child and his mother, and go to the land of Israel, for those who sought the young child's life are dead. Then he arose, took the young child and his mother, and came into the land of Israel.
Joe?
Then was fulfilled what was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, A voice was heard in Ramah, wailing and weeping, and great mourning. Rachel weeping for her children, refusing to be comforted, because they were no more. And Herod having died, see, a messenger of Yahuah appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, Arise and take the child and his mother, and go into the land of Israel, for those seeking the life of the child are dead. And rising up, he took the child and his mother, and came into the land of Israel.
A lot of to and fro, isn't there? Finish her off, Brandon.
And when he heard that King Ărchelaus in Yahuah was in place of Herod, his father, he was afraid to go there, and he was warned in his sleep to go to the land of
Galilee.
And when he came and dwelt in the city of Nazareth, to fulfill what the verse said by mouth of the prophet, for in Nazareth he will be called.
But when he heard that Archelaus was reigning over Judea instead of his father Herod, he was afraid to go there, and being warned by Yahusha in a dream, he turned aside into the region of Galilee. And he came and dwelt in a city called Nazareth, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet, He shall be called a Nazarene.
But hearing that Archelaus was reigning over Yehuda instead of his father Herod, he was afraid to go there. And having been warned in a dream, he departed the parts of Galilee, and came and dwelt in a city called Nazareth, thus to fill what he was spoken by the prophets. He shall be called a Nazarene.
And that's where they get that term from. That's why there's a movement now of people that want to be called a Natsari. They want to be called Natsarim. Did they come from Nazareth?
No.
Oh, that's a Hebrew word that just means branches or watchmen. You know, we are the. He says, "I am the vine, you are the branches." You know, does that mean we have to go around calling ourselves branches? No. Calling ourselves what? Is it stupid labels? You know, anything that's not the bride is what do you need a label for? It's ridiculous, isn't it? How about you just die to yourself and your labels, and just be useful, you know, instead of labels. So, what do you think of this story, guys? This account. what was going on around the time of Yahusha's birth.
It's interesting to hear about when he was a child.
Why?
Because I've never really heard anything about when he was a child, mainly just when he was around 30, when he was gathering all the apostles and when he died. So I've never really heard about when he was a child. So it's interesting.
Yeah, what would he have been like when he grew up? Would he have been mischievous? Well, you don't. He's Alahim in the flesh. We know he didn't sin in his life. So he would have been obedient. I didn't mean mischievous in a sinful way. I just meant, what would he have wanted to get up to in the immaturity of his body, as a child. But he didn't sin, because the scripture says he was perfect. So he would have obeyed his parents. He would have been an example. Interesting to think about what he would have looked like as a child, isn't it? Or how he would have behaved. So let me finish off with a couple of slides, because what we didn't see in this account of Yahusha's birth, it happens in Luke, is there was another supernatural sign in the sky. To me, the Star of Bethlehem wasn't really a supernatural sign. It just coincided, because Yahusha can do anything. The pagans were already staring at the stars anyway. And this one means prosperity, and this one means a king is born, and this one means this, and this one means that, and this one means, there's all these things that they think the stars mean. So as far as they were concerned, this star meant a king was going to be born. So he just happened to coincide it, because he can do that, with what they believed this star meant. A king's going to be born on this star here. So, sure, it coincides with the time of booths, tabernacles, which was when he was born. So, great. But there's something else that supernatural happened. So Yahusha Alahim, in his amazing providence, left his throne in heaven and perfectly timed his transition into flesh to coincide, as I just said, with a sign that pagan astrologers were looking for. A sign so sneaky that the Jews, his first wife, had no knowledge of. A sign so subtle that the Jews never even noticed it, because they would have no reason to notice it, would they? They weren't allowed to. I'm sure some of them did anyway, but they weren't allowed to, get into the Mazzaroth, the sun, moon and stars, and worship that. But Gentile pagans worshipped Mary's child as a king, with no understanding that he was the promised divine Messiah and deliverer. He was just king. At the same time, Yahusha Alahim gave his people, the Jews at the time, he gave them a miraculous announcement of the arrival of their Messiah as a human baby by means of an angel and the appearance of the glory, the esteem of Alahim in the night sky near Bethlehem. And he also gave them a sign in order for them to positively identify this child by saying he would be the one laying in a feeding trough in Bethlehem. And this happened in real time when Yahusha was born. This massive, the minute this transition, and we've all heard about the metamorphosis, Yahuah left his throne and did a spectacular change, crossover into this dimension as a child. He took on flesh. At that time, there was this great light in the sky, and the angels appeared. And who did they appear to? Shepherds. So there was a subtle thing going on with the pagans, with the Magi, and it took them 2 years to find him. The shepherds got it real straight away, and they went straight away and they worshipped him, bowed down and worshipped him. That's not in this account, but this is happening at the same time. They saw the glory in the sky. Isn't that amazing? After nearly 500 years of no supernatural events happening since the Babylonian exile, this cosmic divine Shekinah appearing in the sky to the shepherds was so magnificent, bright and powerful. Makes sense? Amazing. Yahuah Alahim left his divorced wife Israel, left his father image, left all of his old words and covenants with the Jews, and then in the most magnificent fashion proceeded to leave his heavenly throne and form in order to usher in something new. And what about the amazing way he did it? Subtle, the Gentiles, and a big bright light show for the Jews, the shepherds. Yahusha is the new creation and the new covenant order, the fullness and completeness of everything Alahim Yahuah was in human fleshly form. Yahuah is gone and referred to only in the image. Yahusha is Alahim, the mediator of a new covenant spiritual reign, which a person can never find on this earth, but only by entering in at the narrow gate and becoming a spiritual being. See how he transitioned? See how he died to everything that he was, this unapproachable, cosmic, eternal creator of worlds light that's unapproachable. He had to put that off and transform into a man.
Flesh and blood person.
So in one sense he had to die to bring forth something new. See what we have to follow now? You're seeing the connection?
Mm-hmm.
Have I made it obvious enough? Yeah. So Yahusha is Alahim, the mediator of a new covenant. We don't get into the old stuff anymore. Because even he didn't want the old stuff anymore. What do we see in Revelation 4 and 5? They just chucked down all their stuff. Fell down and worshipped the Lamb. But this is the Lamb in his early stages of deliverance work. I mean, imagine being those shepherds. I know the text tonight was about the Magi, but imagine being the shepherds, copping this massive light show, and of course you'd want to go and see the baby in the feeding trough, wouldn't you? In the manger. What do you guys think? Tying everything in tonight that we've discussed about what we have to become, following him.
Makes it obvious that what we have to do to die to the flesh. Reading all this, I can see what we have to do properly now.
Do you know how to do that?
Put off the self. Focus only on Yahusha's word.
Yeah. And how do you stop yourself from wanting to self-serve?
Don't listen to the demons.
Spot on.
Demons just want you to worship yourself and anything you want to do to cover the true word of Yahusha.
They're jealous.
Very jealous. You can see that?
Yeah.
It's thought by thought, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You're literally out in the middle of an ocean and he is throwing you floats to stand on. And if you don't tread on the word that he's putting down in front of you, you sink. Every word he gives us is like an anchor, you know? You see that? What do you think, Mikey?
Yeah, I think it shows it doesn't matter where you came from and what you've done. He shall still accept you and guide us.
Well, he won't accept us the way we are. I know everybody says, come as you are. Come as you are. He loves you as you are. Bit of a cliche. I don't think it's very true.
Well, he takes you as you are, but he flogs you and goads you and
Refines.
And changes.
Slaughters.
Changes that who you think you are to what he knows you are. So it is come as you are because he wants those who are broken and destitute and searching for, a way out of their misery and their pain. So yes, it is come as you are, but...
And what is that way out of your misery and pain?
To follow him, to listen to him, to do everything that he wants. If you don't, then you'll get more pain.
Do you think people understand, as we were saying yesterday, when they come as they are, Do you think they understand what's going to happen to their R?
No. They don't.
Do you think they understand the complete slaughterhouse bloodbath of their R?
Not at all. They don't understand any of that.
No. See why he might want us as a family to put forward the right perspective of what it looks like.
Yeah.
To be servants, to be slaves. Not downtrodden, depressed, upset slaves. Slaves that are just they don't want anything of themselves because they face everything that they are as hideous. They start seeing themselves as Yahusha sees them, as heaven sees them. A filthy, rotten, depraved smear on his creation. And they don't want to be it. It's getting late, isn't it, mate? It's getting late. So, what do you think, Joe?
It's kind of the same thing that's happening now. Like, he's talking to and giving us signs. People who are looking out for him, not just people who, descendants of Abraham or whatever. People who come from a certain place. He's people who want him and are like actively looking for him. He's speaking to them.
That's a good point. That's brilliant. Didn't think of that one. It is exactly the same as today, isn't it? Everything's hidden. Everything's sneaky. Everything's a hide and seek. He wants those who are going to find him. Yeah. That's very good, mate. Yeah. He doesn't just go to the obvious prophets and lineage and, yeah, he goes to those who genuinely want him. Wonderful being in the Word, isn't it?
No, his lineage didn't want him.
No. Majority of
So
them.
they rejected him, they slaughtered him, and in the end he said, go out to everybody. Go to the Gentiles. That's what he told his followers to do. Go out to the Gentiles, and it doesn't matter where you come from, as Joe said. If you want him, he's there.
Yeah.
You've just got to find him.
Mm.
And be passionate about it.
Do you know where you find him? In the fire. That's where you find him. In the fire. The death of self. That's where you find him. Because nothing physical can integrate, can filter. Nothing of your flesh can get through. So I think we've pushed those points home enough tonight about what we have to do. Yeah, it's getting late, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So hope you enjoyed that, brothers and sisters, about the Star of Bethlehem. It's not what we've been told. Yahusha's very sneaky and he wants a response from you. So go there. Did you realize you were a love slave and you have no rights? We'll see you next video.